Hi, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 10th edition of the Small Business Congress and Awards. And what a better way than to start the first session with the number one small business expert in America joining us all the way today morning. Well, the pandemic has been a tough year for small businesses across the globe. And in this scenario, the small business lady, as she is popularly known as, is going to share with us how to fix your small business in 2021. Melinda, we welcome you to the Small Business Congress. Thank you for joining us today. The stage is all yours. I would also like to request our audience to keep all your small business queries open and put them in Q&A box as Melinda would be answering them right at the end of her session. Welcome, Melinda.
Thank you so much for having me. Good morning, everyone. I'm very honored. This is my very first keynote speech in India. So I am thrilled to be with you all today. You know, I was just saying that it's amazing how small the world is that I would have the opportunity to address you. All of you are leaders. You create businesses, you create jobs and opportunity. And most importantly, you work hard to live your dream life as an entrepreneur. And I'm so excited to be here with all of you today to salute you because not just anybody can be an entrepreneur, right? Most of those other people have to keep their jobs. But I want to talk to you today about how you can take what you've built and take it to the next level and really think about your business as opposed to just making the donuts every day. So, one of the first things I want to talk to you guys about is I wrote this book called Fix Your Business. And in it, I explain what I call my 12 P's of running a successful business. And I'm going to run through those quickly with you. But don't worry, if you need more information, you know I've got plenty of content on this information as well as my book. So, the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is my first P in the 12 P's of running a successful business is preparation. And it's not preparation like you might think. Preparation is really about you getting in the mindset that you're ready to fix your business. Because let me tell you something. I don't think you don't know what's wrong with your business. I think you just haven't made the decision that you're finally ready to deal with it. So let me give an example of what I mean. You know that problem employee that you know you need to get rid of because they kind of get on your nerves and they antagonize the rest of your staff and they might not even be that nice to your customers. Yeah, that employee, the one that you've been tolerating instead of firing. Or do you have a software or a vendor that just hasn't been delivering, but you're just too busy to find someone else to replace them? These are all of the kinds of things that I mean when I say preparation is about finally deciding that you're ready to put yourself and your mental strength ahead of all everyone else's nonsense. And that's what I mean by preparation. So once you decide that you're ready to fix your business, the next thing you got to do in some cases is reconnect with your purpose. Because whenever I find an entrepreneur that's struggling in their business, I always say, okay, why did you start this business? Matter of fact, why should you still be running it? Sometimes businesses run their course, or sometimes you just have to get reminded about your why story. Very, very, very important because once you have your why, then you can get your mission and your vision and your passion. And that is how you serve. You serve your customers with your passion, but you have to have a mission and then you have to have a vision. Like for me, my mission and vision, gosh, 13, 14 years ago, was to become America's number one small business expert. And long before I had the title for real, I used to call myself that. But I put the work in so that I could make that. My vision was for that. But my mission is to end small business failure. So when you think about your mission, it should always be something that's bigger than you. It should also always be something that you're striving towards. And obviously, your passion, you already have that. That's the reason why you started your business in the first place. So that's what I always start with when people tell me things aren't going so right or they need to reinvent. Start with your why story because that'll lead you to the rest of it. Now, once you get your preparation and you've got your purpose together, the next thing you got to look at is people. And it's so funny to me because I don't know an entrepreneur that doesn't have a story about their employees, what they don't do, what they can't do, how they don't appreciate the opportunity. But here's what I want to tell you guys. There's a couple of people problems that are very common in small business. So the first people problem is you need people and you don't have them. The second people problem that's most common is you've got the wrong people working for you. Just because your brother or cousin needs a job, give them a check. Don't give them a job. Do not invite trouble to your front door. You need to make sure that you're hiring people that are qualified for the jobs that you need and not just doing patronage in your own family because your nephew needs a job. If your nephew's qualified, sure. If they're not, help them get some training, but I would not give them a key position in your business. The other thing we do as entrepreneurs is we often don't take the time to train people because we're so busy, right? So we hire people and then we throw them the keys and basically say, good luck. Well, that doesn't work. What we know is the more time that you spend investing in your people, the more likely they are to perform the way you want them to. And also, you don't have to, when you take the time to train someone, they know when they mess up. If you don't take the time to train someone, you're going to be frustrated with them and you didn't take the time to show them how you do it. Whether it's how you put that product in the box with the tissue paper, 2 pieces of candy, and you mail it. You have to take the time to train people, and don't train people once, right? You've got to train people on an ongoing basis. But here's the fourth people problem that's very common. And that is, what kind of boss are you? What is it like to work for you? Are you a good boss? Are you a bad boss? Are you the kind of boss where everyone knows what kind of day you're having by how you're treating everyone? You have to make sure that you are not creating your people problem in your business. And you have to pay attention to your communication style and your leadership style. You have to think about how you can be a better leader in your business, because that's how you're going to get the most out of your people. Now, the fourth P is profit. Now, what can I say about this? A lot. Okay, profit is how we keep score in business. It's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. So you've got to make sure that you've got good money rules in your business. When do you cut checks? When do you pay your people? Do you have a habit of not paying people on time? These are the kinds of things that you want to make sure that you have strong money rules. You also want to make sure that you can take any form of currency, however people want to pay you, wire, cash, check. I mean, hey, in a minute, we're all going to be taking Bitcoin, right? So you've got to make sure that you're set up to take credit cards or any kind of way people want to pay you. Very, very important. You don't want any friction involved in how your money comes in your business. But you also need to make sure that you're tracking the profitability in your business year over year. You want to make sure that your profit is growing. And you also want to make sure that there's money left over for you. You're not an endangered servant in your business. You want to make sure that you are paying yourself a regular salary, but that you also have a profit account in your business so that no matter what check comes in, you put a little bit aside, and that is your profit at the end of the year. Very, 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 very important. Now, the next P I want to talk to you about is processes, right? If you're walking around with how your business runs in your head, that is serving no one, especially not you. How are you going to train these great employees you want to have if you don't have written policies and procedures? You also need to document your processes so that you can make sure as a CEO that you are spending your time on your most high valued activities. And by and large, ladies and gentlemen, that's sales. That's interacting with customers, following up with customers, doing whatever you can to get your brand in front of potential customers. That is the number one thing that a business owner should be doing. But if you're busy entering your own data into QuickBooks and doing accounting, if you're not an accounting firm, why are you doing that? If your time is billable at $250 an hour, why would you ever spend it doing $8 an hour work? I don't know, but I bet you there's a lot of people out here doing it. So stop that for me, will you? Now, the next thing I want to talk to you all about is productivity. We know that there's an app for that, there's an app for this, but you have to make sure that you look at all of the apps and the technology that you're using and make sure that it integrates well and that it works well with each other. You want to make sure that you are doing things that are not going to frustrate you more. You also want to make sure that you're not paying for functionality that you're not using. So make sure that at least once a year, you look at all the apps and technology that you're using and see if there's something cheaper, better out there, or is there something you're paying for that you're not even using? That's a great way to waste money. And you want to also look at that list when you develop your processes. You want to figure out what you can outsource or what you can automate, frankly, so that you can take some things off of your plate. And that starts by really documenting your routine tasks. What do you do every week? What do you do every month? What do you do every quarter? Those are the things that you need to think about outsourcing or automating for sure. Now, the next thing I want you to think about is performance. And really, performance in a business is all about measurement. What are you measuring in your business? As a matter of fact, are you measuring anything in your business? You need to make sure that you understand things like your Google Analytics. What are your open rates on your emails? Do you have information on your cost per lead, your cost per sale? Are you using Facebook ads or Google ads, any of this stuff? Are you looking at your data so that you can make sure that you're getting a proper ROI on your marketing investment? These are the things that are going to be really, really important, because sometimes we can get fooled by, generating a bunch of sales. But if we really don't know our numbers, you could be generating sales and losing money with every single sale. So this is why you want to make sure that whatever marketing you're investing in, you know what the output is supposed to be. So if you're spending $1,000 on Facebook ads, you know that your break-even ROI has to be 4.5 times your spend. That is what I mean by really understanding your numbers and really getting on top of your measurement. Now, the next thing I want you to think about is your product or service. Right now, the world is changing. How people buy has changed because of COVID-19. And you want to make sure that the products and services that you are selling are not just relevant to your customer today, but are they going to be relevant 3 to 5 years from now? You've got to be paying attention to the industry trends and making sure that you understand the future needs of your customer. Because if your customer needs it right now, you're already too late. So you want to make sure that you position your company and your brand to be of service. You want to brainstorm and partner with your customers so that you can help them get to their next level of success, because the rising tide lifts all boats. So you want to make sure that you are positioned for the future. I don't want you to be, driving a cab when Uber and Lyft all of a sudden start. And that's because the cab drivers forgot service. And so they created this whole industry, the sharing industry, and it was really started by Uber and Lyft. So I want you all to make sure that you're looking at the trends in your industry to make sure that you understand, are you in an industry that's growing? Are you in an industry that's shrinking? Are you in an industry that technology has majorly transformed? You have to pay attention to that stuff, because that is how you're going to build out your future success of your business. Now let's talk about the next P, and that is presence. And presence is obviously, we're talking about your website, social media, all of that jazz. Now listen, your website is your #1 sales tool. If you don't spend money on anything, you have to make sure that you have a great website. And then you've got to figure out your content strategy. How are you going to demonstrate your expertise and drive traffic to that website? You're going to use social media. Okay, well, do you need to use all 6 social media sites? Do you need to start dancing on TikTok to sell your business? No, you need to figure out where your best target customer spends time online, and you need to be there too. And that is how you figure out. So honestly, 1 or 2 social media sites is fine if you are where your target customers are, and you're adding value with content consistently, which makes you a trusted member of the community. And once you get the trust, that's how you can turn a relationship into commerce, but not before. So you want to make sure that you're thinking about your website, social media, and the other thing you got to think about is email. Because at the end of the day, guys, 87% of marketers are all still using email. So you've got to make sure that your email is really like your follow-up strategy, your sales funnel. Your social media is your brand awareness and visibility. And all roads lead back to your website. So you want to make sure that your website loads quickly, looks good from any kind of device. You want to make sure it's helpful. You want to make sure that you've got 2 or 3 ways to attract customers to give you their email address so that you can start nurturing them with helpful emails. All of that is really, really important. So the first thing you've got to do is get that website right. The next thing I want to talk to you about is prospects. And really, that's all about your sales process. Do you have a way to generate leads on a regular basis into your business? Or do you constantly have this feast or famine thing going on? You work on a project, oh no, the project's almost done. Where's our next customer coming from? You don't want that. You want to develop a constant churn of leads. So it depends on how you're selling. If you sell B2C, then, Facebook, Instagram might be where you need to be. But if you're selling B2B, LinkedIn is where you got to be. So you've got to figure out how you're going to develop, content, how you're going to follow up, what your sales funnels are, what is going to be your content strategy for 12 months. Don't think about it 1 month at a time. Think about it for a whole year. Develop your editorial calendar, your content calendar, your sales strategies for an entire year. And that is going to help you. And as soon as you can, get you a salesperson. Most small business owners are afraid to hire a salesperson, but you will be so grateful when you did. Honestly, if you are the only person in your business thinking about how your business makes money, you are in trouble. So get yourself a salesperson, train them, and develop a process and system for getting those leads in the door, and use CRM software to track those leads and track those touches and track those social media interactions so that you can have all the information you need to build trust with that target customer. Now, once you have your sales process going, the next thing I want you to think about is your plan. You have to plan for success. It will not just happen to you. So I know many small business owners, they treat their business plan like a historical document. When's the last time you looked at that thing? You probably wrote it when you first got started because you're trying to get a loan or investors or something. But listen, it's time for you to develop a 1-year strategic plan for your business. You need to think about all of the things that I just talked about and figure out how you can tighten them up in your business and develop some real targets for what are you trying to do. I don't like to say goals as much because I think goals are a way for people to come up with excuses. Oh, we didn't hit our goal and here's why. No, I want you to think about targets. What is your target for Q1? What is your target for Q2? What are you doing and how are you doing it? And how are you going to execute those things? That is what needs to go in your new strategic plan. And my last P, and this might be the most important one, that is perseverance. You have to stay strong enough, long enough to win. And that is not easy. Gosh, we all know I've been in business. It'll be 22 years next month. And I have been through the fire, the wind, and the rain. And I'm sure those of you that have been in business for any time have been through some challenges as well. And Lord knows COVID-19, really flattened a lot of small businesses around the world, but only the strong survive. So I am so excited to be here to celebrate those of you that are small business award winners today. And I'm just excited to have this opportunity to share. And I would love to open the floor now for some questions.
Thank you, Melinda, for sharing the 12 P's of business with us. I'm sure it has been helpful for all our attendees. So, Melinda, before we take some audience questions, I want to ask you, what kind of business you saw were most prepared in the time of pandemic?
You know, the people who were most prepared in the pandemic were people who already were online. They knew who their customer was. They had fulfillment systems ready to go, and they were able to just put on the gas. So where other people were retreating, trying to do a digital pivot, they were already there, and they were able to capitalize on the fact that everyone was stuck at home and everyone was in front of a computer and spending so much more time on social media. So people who really knew how to use Facebook ads, Instagram ads, really were people who won in the pandemic. And I certainly have talked to a lot of people who said that 2020 was their best year.
Sure. So in the audience, we have a question from Amit, who is asking, Melinda, are you online? Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. So Amit is asking, what are the few key things a business owner must do in order to build or manage a successful business?
Oh gosh, I just gave you 12 of them, but let me see, what else can I come up with? I really think the number one thing you have to know to run a successful business is who your customer is. And as specific as you can get about that customer, the better, because you really can niche to get rich. I think the second thing you've got to have is you really have to have a clear marketing message. I have to understand what you do and why I need it. The next thing you've got to have is a sales system. How are you generating leads? And then you've got to have a follow-up system. How are you nurturing leads? And then the last thing you've got to know is how to drive traffic. You got to know how to drive traffic to your website. You got to know how to drive traffic to your landing pages. And you have to make sure, and it's funny because I think most people think they need traffic first. You got to have those other 4 things in place before you even think of driving traffic. But if you know how to do that, you will win in business every time.
Oh, interesting. So another question we have from the audience is from Shashank, who's asking, you believe that developing a leadership mindset is key to turning around your business. So why is that?
Well, because everyone in your business is looking at you. You set the culture. You set the communication style. So if you're not a good leader, your business can't grow because nobody's going to want to follow you. So really, you have to work on leadership. I think just because your name is on the door and you started the business doesn't really make you a leader. It makes you an owner. So you've got to work on leadership. You've got to read about leadership and you've got to get better. Like I know for me, if I had met the Melinda Emerson of 20 years ago versus the Melinda Emerson now, I'm a different person. I am a much more effective leader. And by the way, the best business leaders are coaching leaders, the kind of leader that wants everyone around them to be better. And if you pour into your people and mentor and you find out what their goals and dreams are and what they care about, they'll walk through fire for you. But if you treat them like they're employees, that's exactly how they're going to act. If you don't get invested in your team, invested in your people, they'll sell you out on the day you need them the most. So you really have to make sure that you bring your best self to your business every day, because 50% of all business problems are not so well hidden personal problems.
Well said. So with this, I would request Muskan to join us and announce the award winners for our Small Business Awards, and Ritu also to join us now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. May we now request Ms. Melinda to give away the awards to the deserving candidates. Our first category, Food and Beverages Business of the Year, Manufacturing. And the winner is Puromate India Private Limited. Hearty congratulations to the entire team. Puromit India believes in making a powerful and positive impact through their products to bring innovation and growth in the food industry. Once again, many, many congratulations to Puromit India Private Limited. Our next category, Engineering and Allied Goods Business of the Year. The winner is OSB Prefab Technologies. Congratulations to OSB Prefab Technologies. Think prefab, consider delivered. Our next category, Craft-Based Business of the Year. The winner is B. Young Kimaya Himalayan Beverages LLP. Many, many congratulations to the entire team of B. Young Kimaya Himalayan Beverages LLP. B. Young and Yabira by Kimaya Himalayan are crafted with utmost love and are embedded with a deep sense of origin. The venture is a disruptive force in the beer industry with honest prices and new benchmarks of quality and packaging. Hearty congratulations to the entire team once again. Our next category, Food and Beverages Business of the Year, Services. The winner is Interactive Canteen Clubs and Hospitality Private Limited. I think they use the best hashtag, hashtag back to canteen. Congratulations. Our next category, Healthcare, Beauty and Wellness Business of the Year. The winner is ILS Hospitals GPD Healthcare Private Limited. Your health, our happiness is their mantra. Congratulations to ILS Hospitals. Our next category, Financial Services Business of the Year. And the award winner is SSA FinServ Private Limited, a preferred financial partner of micro, small, and medium enterprises. Congratulations to SSA FinServ Private Limited. And the next category, Gems and Jewelry Business of the Year. The award winner is Sri Balaji Jewelers. Many, many congratulations. They believe quality, service, and absolutely stunning jewelry is the benchmark they set out in the market. Many, many congratulations to all the winners. And Ms. Emerson, I hope, I bet your book is a bestseller already.
Well, I have several books, but I think this one, because of COVID, people have been very interested in Fix Your Business, because I think everyone realized their business could be tightened a little bit. But I'm so proud of all of the businesses that you have recognized today. Everyone has worked so hard, and I really am excited to see where all of these businesses go in the future.
Sure, and I think the points that you made, Melinda, they were really absolutely their weight worth in gold. You know, I mean, even if people are going to take just about 10% of the advice you're given, they'll probably see 100% rise in their business. It was so methodical and very, very well put.
Well, I'm grateful to have had the opportunity to share, and I hope that it has inspired you a little bit to just think about how you can pivot slightly to be more effective in your business.
Sure. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate that you took the time. And I know it's midnight in the US, and you know, the fact that you're sitting over here shows your passion for small businesses and the passion to help small business entrepreneurs today who are dying for some good, authentic advice. And I think the fact that you put it so simply and so properly out there for all these business owners, it's really helpful. And we really, really appreciate your being here with us today.
It's my pleasure, and my hope is to sometime soon be able to come in person and
absolutely, we would love that too. And maybe next year we should have this in person on the stage.
That would be great. That would be great. Thank you all so much for having me.
Thank you, Melinda. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Melinda.
So welcome.